Hey, it's Zave. Before we get into anything, I want to say I am so proud of you all and this community. My last video was pretty divisive, but even so, an overwhelming majority of you kept things chill. Whether you agreed or disagreed, a lot of great discussions took place. I loved reading about all your experiences with Hoyo games and with games in and outside the gacha genre. Which characters and stories you liked versus which ones you don't, and whether you were still playing or not. It was great. And number 2, don't take the number ratings in this video too seriously, okay? At the end of the day, it's just my opinion. The correct opinion. Now to the video. Everybody plays gacha games for different reasons. Some people do it for the gameplay, some like the progression systems found in gacha games, some just like to gamble, but I personally play gachas because I like the novelty of collecting characters. It's something that can only really be found in a gacha game because gachas are set up to be live service, and as long as they get the support, they'll continue to release characters for years to come, whereas regular RPGs are finite and usually give you anywhere from 4 to 10 party members across the board. As much as I love Baldur's Gate 3, Lae'zel my beauty, and Mass Effect, I'll always be stuck with the same core party members, but in a gacha, there's a new party member to collect every 2 to 3 weeks. I'm addicted to that. So what makes a party member worth collecting? For me personally, their writing, design, and the ideas behind it. Gachas aren't cheap. Even if you're free to play, you still need to invest something more precious than money, your time. So when looking at a new raid up banner, the main thing that'll determine if that character is worth my time or money is how they look, how they act, and the concepts or ideas behind that character's creation. With all that being said, let's take a look at some characters from a bunch of different gachas and see which is worth our time. Also, if I miss any really good games or character designs, let me know. I already talked about HSR and ZZZ at length in the previous video, so they won't be included in this one. But I haven't mentioned Genshin at all, and I've gotta say, these Nodcry characters are bangers for the most part. Let's start with the current character banner. As of today, when I'm writing the script, it's technically Mualani and Chaska, but they're old news. Lauma's banner comes out in 2 days, so let's do her. She looks good, albeit a little bit uninteresting. See, an interesting character design makes you ask questions. Why do they wear that? What's that on their face? How they get that scar? Why do they use that weapon? Stuff like that. But when I look at her, I don't really have any questions besides maybe her horns. The answer to that is she's a spiritual centaur woman. Pretty cool in my opinion. Obviously the spiritual centaur form isn't gonna be like the actual playable character, but the fact that she has that form at all will net her some bonus points for creativity. She is known as the Moon Chanter of Frost Moon Scions. I don't know what the hell that entails, but reading up on her, it appears that she'll have that tender, soft, maternal personality. She's one with nature and animals and is revered by her tribe's people. Most characters only have good things to say about her. Overall, it's not a bad character design. I think the interesting part about her will have to do with the god that her tribe worships. They've never seen the god they worship, but they view her as a kind of emissary of their unseen god. So when she does come out, I'm hoping that she'll have some complex feelings about that, or maybe explore the complex relations of their tribe's worship and religious status or whatever. Overall though, not bad. I'll give her a 7 out of 10. The future Nodcry characters are bangers though. First, Varka. While technically not a Nodcry character, he was shown in the trailer with them, so I'm counting it. He's the Grandmaster of the Knights of Favonius. If you remember way back when Genshin first came out, we learned that the previous Grandmaster left with like 80% of the knights on an expedition. I assumed that they were dead and that was just lore or flavor text, but no, we later learned that he's still indeed alive. And now we finally see him, and he looks like a mix of Japard and Aventurine. I won't dock points for that though, because he still looks badass as hell. Well, that and it's pretty common for Hoyo to utilize similar character designs across multiple games, so if the community's okay with it, I am too, I guess. The only thing that's worrying me is the fact that he's not holding a signature weapon here. He's holding the Wolf's Gravestone. Does that mean he's gonna be a 4-star and won't have a sig? After the whole Minato mess, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't play Genshin anymore, so I wouldn't care if he is a 4-star, but it would be really funny. Reading through the info we do have on him, he seems like the reliable, strong, but carefree type. His strength is mentioned by multiple characters, plus he's the Grandmaster of the Knights. We expected him to be crazy strong, but the reliable and carefree parts are where I'm intrigued. He's apparently the one who found Razor, knew his parents, and taught him how to use a sword. He brought Rosaria to Mondstadt so she could seek redemption. He's also the one who got the Hexenzirkel to ally with Mondstadt should they need it. He also lost in a drinking contest with Malvika, which isn't important, it's just kind of funny. A bit of character flavor. Inefa literally says most people's impressions of him can be summarized with the following key phrases: sense of humor, easygoing, and high alcohol tolerance. But I have found Varka to be a dependable ally when dealing with matters of great importance. His design is cool, the outfit is cool, he uses a big sword, and has a personality type that I love. It reminds me of Yami from Black Clover if you're familiar with that anime. Overall, a knockout character, 9 out of 10. Next is Flinz. There is a spectrum when it comes to edgy characters. There are characters that hit the right amount of edge without being cringe, like Virgil from DMC. Then there are characters that are trying too hard to be edgy and it just ends up being cringe, like the main character of Hatred. And then there's characters that fully embrace it, and it wraps back around from being cringe to being endearing again. And that's Flinz. When I first saw this character, the first thing I thought was, look at this TikTok e-boy, emo looking motherfucker. The more I see him and the more I read about him, he ended up growing on me, and now I really like his design. Part of that comes from how he's described. Apparently he's among the last of a group called the Lightkeepers, who watch over a cemetery of some sort. Despite his appearance of an edgy lone wolf who doesn't care about anything, he's described as a dignified gentleman and a strong, reliable warrior. I'm hoping we see some nuanced writing from him because his design sets some high expectations. I don't want them to lean into the edgy, lonely persona. I prefer if they actually stay true to that gentlemanly nature and make him a very considerate type of person. 8 out of 10. Nefer is next. We have almost no information on her. She's just ridiculously attractive. 10 out of 10. I love when we get characters that have that Cleopatra Egyptian goddess look. It's always a knockout in video games. And yeah, that's all. I did not forget anybody. Nope. Not a single forgotten future Nodcry character. Alright, next game. A lot of people get the impression that I dislike attractive characters because a big point of criticism for me is when a character design is mutilated for the sake of making them hot. But what if there is an entire game where every single character is sexualized to the max? I've played Nikke since launch, and even though I do take breaks from it fairly often, I make sure to keep up with the character releases, and I've gotta say, they hit way more often than miss. The newest characters right now are Aid and Milk in bunny outfits. I'm not even a bunny suit type of guy, and I can still realize that this is peak. I'll spoil it here. Aid gets a 10 out of 10, and the reason why isn't just because of how good she looks, but also her personality. While she may be in a bunny outfit here, her actual occupation is being a maid, and she aspires to be the perfect maid, which she basically already is. Her whole character motif is that while she is the perfect maid, she has moments where she gets too inside her own head or makes a relatively small mistake but blows it out of proportion. Basically little cracks in her otherwise perfect demeanor. This bunny suit outfit comes from a mission where she's an undercover agent at a casino and thus has to wear the bunny suit to blend in with the staff. After the mission is over though, she seems to be stuck in secret agent mode, performing all her daily maid tasks with alarming precision and efficiency. She has become the perfect maid, but the problem is that her customers and even her friends don't want the perfect maid. They want Aid and all her personality quirks. So you work with her to not only bring back the Aid that we all knew and loved, but to help her embrace that secret agent side of herself too. And then you have Set. It's a cute little story with a sweet ending, and it really warmed my heart, even though I wasn't a huge Aid fan in the first place. The other banner character is Milk in a bunny suit. At the time of this recording, we don't have her story yet. All we know is that she's also undercover at the casino with Aid, which sucks because I really wanted to see what they do with her and the commander, but we can still take a gander at her design. Originally, Milk was one of the less popular Nikkes. Don't get me wrong, she certainly still had a fan base, but she was overshadowed by the favorites for quite a while. But now the Milk fans are rejoicing. Milk was originally a tomboy character. She's actually a boxer as well, so she's very rough and tough, abrasive, loud, things like that. So putting a character like that in a bunny suit is obviously going to bring some comedic moments. She looks phenomenal and they got everything right, down to the pose and facial expression. It's very on character and gives me faith that they'll do her justice when her story comes out. 10 out of 10. Haha! There. Have I proved that I'm not gay? Did I beat the gay allegations? I hope so. Okay, let's see. What is the current banner for Reverse 1999? Ezio! Reverse 1999 is currently having one of the most legendary gaming franchises as a collab, and it's not just Ezio. There's also Alexios and Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Since these are existing characters, breaking down their background is pretty irrelevant. If you played Assassin's Creed, you're gonna pull, and if you didn't, you probably won't. However, was their design brought over to the gacha space well? Yeah, I think so. Cassandra, Alexios, and Ezio all fit really well into the R99 art style and universe while still looking distinctly like themselves. I was instantly able to tell who these characters were from the moment I saw them. 10 out of 10 across the board. But it's easy to nail a collab character design-wise. Just stay true to the original while making sure they fit in your world and art style. Let's look at an R99 original character. If you don't know, the characters in R99 are physical embodiments of significant characters, objects, and people from culture and history. A perfect example of that would be Lucy. She may seem like a naked robot lady, but in reality, she's the physical representation of the advancement in technology humanity made when turning on the first successful steam engine. That moment in time gave birth to this character, and I think that's such a wonderfully unique concept for a character. She's a machine at the end of the day, and that's especially shown in her design and personality quirks. Obviously, she looks like a robot, but the little details in her design show her personality or lack thereof. She's all about efficiency. If it doesn't serve a vital purpose in her daily operations or add to her scientific background in any way, she isn't interested. The coat she wears isn't for fashion or warmth. She wears it because she can store batteries in the pockets. The key around her neck isn't some keepsake or memento, it's just a key to her maintenance compartment. The ID badge she has on her jacket isn't there for any purpose other than she just has to wear one for work. She isn't a boring character though. She was convinced that camaraderie among coworkers would boost production and aid in scientific inquiry, so she started to develop a quote-unquote sense of humor. Obviously this went poorly, so now she goes around the workplace telling awful jokes to her coworkers and employees, slowly but surely cultivating the perfect joke, one awkward coworker laugh at a time. You've been in that situation before. There's also the fact that she's known to display something akin to anxiety whenever her battery gets low. I thought that this was really cute actually. So yeah, it's a pretty strong character overall, 10 out of 10. The best part is that R99 is actually filled with characters like this. So one day I may do a video just breaking down a bunch of designs from there. Moving on though. Limbus Company is the last game on the list today. I'll say it straight up, they have some of the coolest concepts for designs in the space. They also have a really cool system with their characters. There are technically only 12 characters in the game, but all the new characters are alternate versions of them. Essentially, all the characters you collect are what-ifs of the main cast. We have Otis, who is my favorite character for many reasons, but the main one is that she isn't traditionally likable. In fact, she is unapologetically unlikable. She constantly demeans and berates all of the other sinners while constantly praising us, but it's made clear that she's not nice to us because she actually likes the player character. It's because we are extremely important to her and the others for narrative reasons. She isn't annoying though. Like, yes, she believes that she's the most capable of the sinners, and yes, she often makes it clear that she does not view them all as equals, but she isn't necessarily wrong. Like, in my opinion, besides Faust, she might very well be the most capable, but that's a whole nother conversation because all the sinners are kind of crazy in some aspect or another. My point is, she's very far outside the usual realm of a main character, especially in gacha games. Where she shines though is her alters, or her mirror versions. We have the Barber of La We have the Barber, which is Otis, essentially taking up the mantle of the Barber, an enemy that we previously fight in the game, giving her a beautiful flowing red dress, a scarlet pair of scissors, and a bloodstained mask akin to a plague doctor. She looks so damn good here. We also have the Molar Office Fixer, which is Otis if she was a representative of Molar Office, but she also heavily resembles another character from a connected game called Library of Ruina. Her name is Olga. If you're not a fan of the Lobotomy Corp universe, then that probably meant nothing to you, but trust me, it's pretty cool how all the different games are connected in different ways. This art right here, This shit got me acting unwise. I'm feeling quite poor decision making skills right now. The last mirror version of Aldous that I want to look at is the Haishu Pack, Mal branch. In this mirror world, Aldous is part of a group called the Haishu Packs. It's basically like a private military group. Donning a dark rogue samurai outfit and a visceral blade, it's one of her more badass looking alters and raises a lot of questions. Mainly, how did she go down this path? But also that fucking sword, oh my god. Every character is like this though, which is my favorite part about Limbus Company. We have Faust, whose mirrors reimagine her as various enemies from the game. Gregor, whose mirrors show the different paths in life he could have taken. Ryoshu, who has one of the most disturbing mirrors I've ever seen. Jesus Christ. Overall, some of the coolest, saddest, and most badass designs in the human space, right? Wait, in the human space? What? Overall, some of the coolest, saddest, and most badass designs in the space right now. And it really gets you attached to these characters because there's a story behind every single one. Seeing how they could have turned out had they made different decisions in life, or seeing them reimagine taking the role of an enemy you previously defeated. It's just really interesting. 9s and 10s across the board, all phenomenal. So that's all the time I've got for today. Let me know what I missed and what you agree and disagree with, and what some of your favorite designs are. I do want to say again, everyone plays gachas for different reasons, and while design, writing, and personality are super important to me, it may not mean much to you, and that's fine. Keep it civil and have yourself a damn good one.